My name is Seruhungo Ndagijimana. I'm working on the project located in the world called Contribute to Society. The project is called Government Aid. I am a student in Surfing, New Hampshire, in Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at SUNY. And I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in a street interview video I'm working on for a goal called Government and Youth Project. The interview will be used to create a street interview and submit it to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. Okay? This interview information will be temporarily stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluation in College for America staff will have access. Do you have any question? Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
Yes. Yeah, I, Federico Kemba, give me my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student academy work.
Okay, here there are 4 questions that I'm going to ask you. The first question, what are the 3 branches of government? What does each branch do? Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name the third party? You don't know? So what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
Done.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you too.
My name is Seruhungo Ndagijimana. I'm working on a project located in the world called Contribute to Society. The project is called the Government Aid. I am a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at SUNY, and I'm conducting this interview as part of my academic work. With your consent, I will record this interview and use the information in the street interview video I'm working on for a goal called the Government and Youth Project. The interview will be used to create a street interview video and submit it to College for America so that my project can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. This interview information will be temporarily stored in College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluation and College for America staff will have access. Do you have any question? Do you give your consent to be interviewed and recorded?
I, Oscar, give my informed consent to participate in this interview. We recorded and used as part of the student academy.
Okay, here are 4 questions that I'm going to ask you. If you have any view about it, you can respond yes and then provide some clarification. What are the 3 branches of government? What does each branch do? Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name the third party? No? What is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
Okay, hello. My name is Seruhungo Ndagijimana, a student at Surfing, New Hampshire University. So, I was supposed to conduct an interview with 2 or 3 people while working on the project called Government and You, located in the goal called Create Multimedia. So the 2 people, the first one was Federico Kemba from the first interview, and he was not able to determine the 3 branches. So the second person I interviewed was Oscar, and he responded that also that he was not aware of the 3 branches and other 3 questions because he don't know more about what is going on in the United States. So he responded that he doesn't have information about this branch. Research, I found that the 3 branches of the US federal government are the legislative, executive, as well as the judicial branches. So the legislative branch is charged of making laws. So it is made of the Congress, Senate, and the House of Representatives. So the legislative branch drafts, proposes the laws, and confirms or rejects the presidential nominations for heads of federal agencies. So the federal judges and the Supreme Court also has the authority to declare war. So this branch includes Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. So the executive is charged of carrying out laws. So it's made of president, vice president, and the cabinet. So the key roles of the executive branch includes, so the president who leads the country. So the vice president also, and the cabinet. So the president leads the country. He or she is the head of state. So the head of state, leader of the federal government, as well as the commander-in-chief of the United States. So the vice president supports the president. So if the president is unable to serve, the vice president becomes the president. So the cabinet members serve as advisors to the president. They include the vice president, heads of executive department, and other high-ranking government officials. So they act as advisors. They advise the president on some resolutions that may be implemented before they are taken. So the third, I've seen that it's the the judiciary branch is charged of interpreting laws. So it is made of the Supreme Court and other federal courts. So the judicial court, the judicial branch interprets the meaning of laws, apply laws to individual cases, and decide if laws violate the Constitution. So it is comprised of the Supreme Court and other federal court. So the Constitution has divided the government branches into three. So we have seen that we have the legislative, we have the executive, and we have the judicial. So that was an important decision because it gave specific powers to each branch and set up something called checks and balance. So there are the checks and balance. So the checks and balance, just like the phrase sounds, the point of checks and balance was to make sure that no one branch would be able to control too much power, and it created a separation of power. So there are different examples. For instance, the legislative branch makes law, but the president in the executive branch can veto those laws with a president veto. So, as well as the executive branch, through the federal agencies, has the responsibility for day-to-day enforcement and administration of federal laws. So the federal department and agencies have missions and responsibilities that vary widely, from environmental protection to protecting the nation's borders. So the president in the executive branch so I found that he can veto a law, but the legislative branch can override that veto with enough voters. So it's obvious that there are the checks and balance between the three branches. So about the third question, so the interviewees I interviewed, so they respond that they do not have much information about the question. So I have found that beside the Democrats and the Republicans as the major parties, so the third party in the United States, so there has usually only been two main political parties since like the years 186. So there's two main parties have been the Republican and the Democratic Party. So, but the Democratic Party has the most seats in the House of the Presidency, while the United States Senate. So the Democratic Party was started around 1828 as the post-slavery, so it was comprised of different slaves, and it was resulted from slaves. And the first president was Andrew Jackson in 1829. So moreover, the Republican Party was started in 1854 as an anti-slavery party, and its first president was Abraham Lincoln in 1861. So that means, so beside the Democratic and the Republican, we have the liberal parties. So that something I can add on. So those minors party, they may affect or can impact those two parties. So for instance, the third party candidate exit can influence the focus in the election on particular issues and take votes away from major candidates. So for instance, the third party parties have sometimes launched large campaigns and have won public offices, but they have not, since third party candidates don't have legitimate chance of winning national election given the structure, and their impact is not much considerable in the United States election, because many voters tend to believe in the two parties only. So something I can add on the fourth question. So the fourth question was asking about how the bill becomes a law. So from the field, I interviewed Frederick and Oscar. Both they were not able to reveal what are the process in which the law can become, in which process the bill can become a law. So they were not able to respond to the question, but from the research I've done, so I've found that so it became a law after both the House and Senate have approved their bill in identical form. The bill is sent to the president. If the president approves the legislation, so it is signed and becomes the law. If the president takes no action for 10 days while Congress is in the session, the bill automatically becomes the law. So something I can add on also, the committee, I found that the committee is led by the Speaker of the House. While approving the bills, the Speaker of the House may set time limits because there are different committees. So the Speaker of the House set the limit where the committees may approve the bill. So not only that, so also I found the different roles of the sponsors while having the election in the United States. So the sponsors may contribute to the election in passing the bill or sponsoring the candidate while making his or her campaign. They provide all the support while making their campaign. Not only that, so they organize also some debate. So they organize the debate where the president can go virtually or in public and held some kind of debate where they showcase their ambitions, what they will work and what they aim to achieve while sitting on the throne. So it matters. And also I found that the voting is something that is important in the elections. So because many presidents they failed elections because of few voters. So, for instance, I've seen the case where Trump won the election, where he beat Hillary Clinton in the election because of few votes. So also it happened on the mandate of George Walker Bush, where he surpassed only 546 votes to the opposite side. So that means that everyone's vote matters because it can contribute to someone's election or to pass the election in the United States. So thank you very much.